Now, very pleasant morning, children. Welcome to today's session of English language. Today we are going to continue with the topic composition writing, and under the topic composition writing, we are today going to talk about different types of composition. What are different types of composition that we get in our examination? As you all know that it is not that we get a single topic, instead we get choice. In composition writing, always a choice is there for the students to decide on which topic they want to write. But to decide upon those topics, firstly we need to understand what are those types of compositions. Then only we can understand our strength and write accordingly, according to our strength. Now, before this session, in our previous session, we had discussed guidelines or useful tips of writing a good composition, in which we had talked about answering a question, then answering it politely, then we had discussed about what we putting up a question, then answering it in a polite manner. Then we had discussed that we should we had discussed about writing memorized content. That is, whenever we are trying to write memorized content, we should be sure of it. Then the composition should be of reasonable length. We had discussed we cannot go on and on writing a composition. We have to confine our composition within the specified word limit. And then we had discussed we had discussed that we have to avoid using of very complicated languages. We have to use very simple language, and small sentences are to be there while we are writing a composition. Plus, we have to write legibly. Writing legibly means we have to avoid cutting, scribbling and all that. And all these tips, if we follow these tips, then we will be able to write an effective composition. Now, for writing effective composition, we should know what type of composition we are writing, because composition is of various types. Now today in this session, we are going to talk about different types of composition. Different types of composition. Different types of composition. Now children, you must be feeling how come composition can be divided into different types. So now we are going to talk about in detail how we can classify different topics into different subheadings of different types of composition. It is not that you get only one topic in examination and you have to go on with it. No, you get multiple choices in composition, and all those choices are from different types of compositions. So first of all, let us talk about this narrative composition. Narrative composition. As I speak the word narrative, the first thing that comes to your mind after hearing the word narrative is that something is going on and we are telling about that thing. That is, we are telling a story. That is a narration. That is a narrative composition. Where in narrative composition, usually we tell a story. What actually has happened, we tell in narrative composition. That is a narrative composition. Is this much clear to all of you? What is a narrative composition? In narrative composition, remember children, we always follow a chronology of event. That is, a sequence is maintained. If we are describing about any particular event, we need to describe from the hierarchy, the incident related to that thing which took place first and second and third, and that is narrative composition. Now whenever we are writing a narrative composition, keep in mind that we make a well arranged, planned, envisaged, logical and chronological order is maintained. And keep the plot simple. If you are writing a narrative composition, keep the plot simple. Don't complicate it too much. Do not try to include too many points in your narration. Try to keep your narration simple. The more you will keep it simple, it will be difficult. It will be more easy for you to enumerate and meet the demands of narrative composition. So, narrative composition, you can say, is basically storytelling. Okay. Now, after narration, we come to the next type of composition, that is descriptive composition. Descriptive composition. Descriptive why I have discussed narration first and description second. The reason behind this is that most of the time children get confused between narration and description. See, in narration you have to maintain a chronology of event, but in description you need not describe everything that is related to event. You might take up any particular point and keep on describing that. That is description. But in narration, chronology has to be maintained, and while in description, it is not necessary that you maintain a chronology. Okay, description pertains to any specific thing, while narration includes everything, but it has to be in a sequence. It has to be in a hierarchy or a sequence as and when those things took place, from the thing that took place first, then second, then third, and so on. But in description, you can take anything from in between, and you may start describing that. That is a description. The description and narration, there is a difference between description and narration. This is the difference, that in narration you always have to describe everything in a chronological sequence, but in description you can take up anything and describe it, and you can base your composition upon that thing. That is known as description. Okay, is this much clear? Give thumbs up if it is clear. Give thumbs up in the chat box. Okay. As we are talking about description and narration, let me tell you that in description you are always going to specify any characteristic. For example, if I after taking class, if I feel tired, then I can say that I feel tired after taking the class. Or if I say that seeing the white, that when I see all these things, it gives me energy to teach. Then when I am saying this, it is a simple narration. When I see all these things, when I see my equipments, it gives me energy. But description can be like seeing a whiteboard and laptop open in front of me, and with the vibrant colors on the screen of the laptop, and with the mobile, with full mobile data recharge, it gave me the feeling to start at once. This is the description. I have taken into consideration everything and I have described. But simple narration can be, these things motivated me to start. So that is the difference between narration and description. In description, you describe a characteristic or properties of any particular thing. That is what derives me, whiteboard, laptop, phone, other books and all. They derive me and they motivate me, they push me to take classes. So this is how description is. So have you understood the difference between narration and description? Children, have you all understood? In narration, always remember that if something has to be narrated, always remember that you should stick to that thing only. Do not deviate. If we are talking about a basketball match, in description you might describe atmosphere, the crowd, everything, the scorers, the behavior of the audience, the energy of the players from both the teams. But in narration, you simply need to narrate about the match. You simply need to narrate about the match, the moment the team stepped out on the basketball court and the moment they started playing, what happened during that phase. You have to write that. That is narration. In description, you might describe various simple properties of a basketball match. That is a description. So have you understood? In description, you can directly go to the end, towards the end of the match. But in narration, you cannot go directly towards the end of the match. You have to start from the starting of the match and then you have to proceed in a chronological sequence towards the end of the match. But always remember that if you are described to narrate a basketball match, always remember that you should stick to narrating a basketball match instead of talking about audience, instead of talking about the infrastructure of the basketball court or anything else. Stick to the match itself. But in description, it can be of different properties of a basketball match. Is this much clear to all of you? Okay. Now I hope that everyone will be able to write these essays, description and narration, in a more organized way. Now let us come to the third type of essay that is often asked in your examination. But before coming to that type of essay, let me tell you that those who have good English but they are not very good at writing, expressing themselves, I would always recommend, and I always tell my students, that a student should always attempt a descriptive essay. It is very scoring. It is not content bound. That is, you can include various different things in descriptive essay. That is not the case in narrative essay. Narrative essay has to be up to the point. It has to be according to the topic. So avoid attempting narration. Try to attempt description. It will give you more marks. Is it clear? Now, third type of essay which we are going to talk about is argumentative essay or discussion. Argumentative essay. Now, coming to the argumentative essay, children, as the name itself suggests, argument means to discuss. Argument is always a discussion. See, it is not necessary that you debate, but you have to put forth your point. That is a discussion. If you differ on some topic than other people, then putting forth your point of view is known as argumenting or discussing. That is an argumentative essay. Now see, children, in your age or in, you can say, growing age, we indulge in arguments quite frequently. So argumentative essay, you can say, is a need of modern society. We cannot progress without arguments. We cannot progress without putting forth our point of view. So in that case, argumentative essay becomes very, very important. And all of you should understand that argument is just basic discussion and putting forth your point of view in such a manner that the person who is opposing your point of view gets fully convinced with it. You put forth your point of view in such a comprehensive manner, in such an influential manner, with suitable examples, with suitable data proofs, you can say, with data support, that the person who listens to you gets fully convinced that whatever you are saying is a correct statement. Whatever confession you are making regarding any particular thing, that is correct. So your argument should be precise, should data should support it, and then people listening to it should get convinced, as it should have a specific logic or logics behind it. That is an argumentative essay, and argument is a base of any strong, you can say, country, and especially in a democratic country like India, argument plays very important role, because it is a democratic country and we have been given so many rights. So in a sense, we have the right to put forth our point of view, and since we have the right, that is why our argument reaches to the top, that is to the government. So here argumentative essay plays a very important role. But now let us come to the properties that a good argumentative essay should possess. Okay. As I have told you that argumentative essay is always a discussion in which you disagree on certain point where the other person might agree, or in which you agree on certain statement where other person might disagree. So whenever you are writing an argumentative essay, children, always remember that an argumentative essay, whatever you are writing, you have to support it with various data, various past data, with logical reasoning. With examples, you have to support your argument. For example, if I say that every man has their own view of perceiving, has their own, every individual has their own, you can say every individual has their own outlook to life. Every individual has their own outlook to life. So, some people might agree to it that yes, every individual have their own outlook to life, but others might not agree to it, and they might argue that if something is good, then everybody will feel that that thing is good, and if something is bad, then everybody will feel that that thing is bad. So they will disagree to it. So this is what an argument is. For example, if I say that technology has made us lazy, dull and incompetent or antisocial. So how it has made us? Few of you might disagree to it, few of you might agree to it. Those who disagree to it, they will put forth their point of view in such a way that the opposite number gets convinced with whatever you are saying. Or if those who agree to it might put forth their point of view to prove that it is correct. So argument is basically whatever you are writing, you substantiate that writing with evidences. So you prove that with substantial evidences. That is an argumentative essay. Okay. Is this much clear to all of you? Now children, what general mistakes that children commit while they attempt argumentative essay? Now in argumentative essay, you first of all have to decide on yes or no, whether you support certain statement or you oppose certain statement. If you support certain statement, so when you start writing your composition, beforehand you have to decide, and you have to be on one side of the statement. You cannot be on both sides. Like it cannot be so that half of the essay you write in supporting and half of the essay you write in opposing. You cannot do that. In an argumentative essay, always remember that try to be on one side of the statement. You cannot suppose and oppose at the same time. So what the common error students make is that when they start writing, if they start writing for the statement, then they might write half of their composition for the statement, but then after writing half of the composition, they write against the particular, you can say against a particular statement. But that is wrong. In that you will lose marks. So in argumentative essay, try to be on one side and always support your argument with substantial proofs, datas and logics. Only then your argument is considered to be an appropriate argument which is going to yield you marks. Is this much clear to all of you? Now what I recommend is, if you have knowledge about any particular topic on which you are supposed to base your argument, then only you can attempt argumentative essay. Otherwise, always go with descriptive essay. Is it clear? Now these three are the most important categories of essay writing. And out of these three only, children, they attempt their composition. Is it clear? But try always to attempt descriptive composition. It is very easy to write and it is not topic bound. Like it is not bound to a specific property of any particular topic. You can deal with various aspects of that topic. So always try to write descriptive composition. Okay. Thank you so much, children.